No, this is I had to introduce you guys
America.
to this.
Molly just asked me if she played in the NFL, what position would she play, like personality-wise? I said she'd be like one of those try-hard, grinder, do-it-all, like coach's kid, play-hard type person, off-ball linebacker.
All right, I'll take linebacker. Yeah.
Put your face on someone.
Yeah. I'm into
We know.
She'd be a diva receiver.
Oh
She'd
my
be a receiver.
God.
She'd be a receiver. I'd be a corner because I'm a straight hater. Like, I'm defense all the way.
Quarterback. Of course, most important position.
No, you would never be a quarterback.
Who, you?
No, you're a receiver all day. You have no quarterback receiver.
Most important position.
No.
Leads, galvanizes.
Personality.
You understand? And by the way, when it's time, closes.
No, receiver.
That would be me.
No, you're a receiver.
That would be me.
You're a receiver
Saying.
crying for the ball. That's you.
No.
Okay.
You'd be like Stephon Diggs. Like,
I'm open.
All right, but this is what I wanted to introduce you guys to before I asked you that random question. I said, listen, football's on my mind. So just so you know, these debates now get graded by the people at home.
oh.
Every one of them?
No, but this one is.
Okay.
But Kimberly and Dan haven't been a part of that.
Saying,
So
you
I
acting like
them,
you saying like it's every one of them.
it's not always about you. I just wanted them to
Mr.
really bring their
wide
A game
receiver
to know the people at
tendencies.
home are going to joke it.
Do not know what a B game is.
Yeah. All right. So scan your QR code. Let us know who you think's going to win. All right. Up first.
I just love me on this angle, by the
Oh
way. To the
my
producers.
God.
Congratulations.
What?
I just love me on this
I
angle.
can't.
Not like here. I just see myself, the director. I'm sorry, I apologize to the director. I mean, I just love it. It's just a beautiful thing.
Randy,
And
make
the
it
angle
stop.
right here
Make it
is
stop.
special
Okay.
right there.
Guys, if you're wondering what narcissism is, that's just.
But this would be our
Here's an
quarterback. This
example.
would be our quarterback right here.
That angle
Yeah.
you get to see.
You're the
all
psychology
the
major,
5
textbook narcissist.
Oh,
All right, let's go.
1000%.
Who's winning the game tonight?
I took Kansas City out of respect for Patrick.
Yes.
Even though I love Detroit, even if Kelce does not play. And I think Patrick's the only one in the NFL that can still win the game. Because he's such a special player, they've had the whole offseason. If this was week 3 or week 4, I'd feel differently. But him and Andy Reid having the whole offseason to kind of put a plan together of how to attack Detroit's defense and still an elite offensive line. I know that we have question marks about the wide receivers, and that's kind of where my mind is at, Molly, Stephen A., and Kimberly. Kimberly knows this. I'm a little bit over there's a lot of potential in Kansas City at the wide receiver spot. This is time. You know, and Patrick is, as great as he is, at some point he is going to need a wide receiver to step up. And tonight, no bigger night, especially if Kelce doesn't play. It can't just be, well, Kadarius Toney's really talented. We think he's got a chance. Or Sky Moore is really talented. We think he has a chance. Or Justin Ross has a ton of potential. At some point, they got to go do it. He's the only guy I still think can pull it off.
Do you think they could win without Kelce?
I do. I think the Kelce loss or potential not playing is bigger than the Chris Jones one. One, the timing. Chris Jones, they've known likely not going to play in this game because of the holdout. And then 2, they're not going to have a full-speed practice since the injury to Travis Kelce to figure out, okay, what are guys really capable of?
Are you making the argument for us? Because you picked the Chiefs. You sound like you're making an argument against that.
No, I picked the Chiefs strictly off Patrick Mahomes. Strictly out of respect for Patrick. I do think that the loss to Kelce is a big deal, absolutely, because of the timing of it. They're not going to have a full-speed practice. And I just talked about we often hear potential in Kansas City at their wide receivers, and it's got to be more than that.
I think our receiver wanted the ball.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Go ahead, no. Ladies
you're
first.
okay?
Ladies first.
I appreciate that, Stephen A.
Beauty before
Let
wisdom,
Kimberly
knowledge,
go.
all of those things.
So I think the Chiefs are going to win.
Compliment?
Yes, it is.
He just can't. Today he's on another level.
he is.
Shiny suit, got
Yeah.
it.
Maybe he went out last
Like
night.
a Puffy and
I did
Mace
not.
video
That's
from the night. I don't
Go
know.
ahead.
So I think the Chiefs are going to win, but I actually disagree with Dan. I think this Chris Jones absence is actually a lot bigger.
Right.
With Travis Kelce, it's unlikely that he will play, but their CEO just said that I wouldn't rule out Travis Kelce actually being on the field. So I think there's a chance we could see Kelce, but how compromised will he be is the question. With Chris Jones, I don't know if he will just miss this game. I look at this defense without Chris Jones, potentially, he said he's willing to sit out till week 8. That in itself scares me. Because not only do you not have him, you don't have Charles Omenihu, another free agent that they brought on. Chris Jones is literally their pass rush. Patrick Mahomes, he's a magician. We know he's the best quarterback in the NFL. We know that the reason you're picking the Chiefs, Daniel, is because of Patrick Mahomes.
Right.
That is why I think Chris Jones, his absence is bigger. Because on defense, to me, he is Patrick Mahomes on defense for this team. He's their pass rush. He's the heart and soul. He doesn't just bring pressure up the middle. He helps the guys next to him. He helps the back end. So when you don't have that guy there, I wonder, this defense, they just need to be functional.
Kelce's the most significant absence. I get what you're saying about Chris Jones, and I'll get into that for a second. But the answer is Kelce. There's no question about that. Here's the reason why. I don't think people really, we know Kelce's 8 straight Pro Bowl appearances. We get all of that. But listen, interesting stat. NFL ranks among all pass catchers, that's tight end, wide receivers, running backs. Kelce, since Patrick Mahomes became KC's starting quarterback in 2018, first downs, 353. Second in catches, third in receiving yards, fourth in TD catches. That's Travis Kelce. That's Travis Kelce. So we understand how important he is to the Kansas City Chiefs. I get what you're saying as it pertains to Chris Jones, because we got to pay attention to that. We got to really, really pay attention to that. And I think this is the thing that hasn't been brought up about the Detroit Lions here. I'm looking at the Detroit Lions because we talk about Kansas City's offense last year, over 7,000 yards and 61 touchdowns accumulated last season, all right, which was obviously first. Do you know that Detroit was third in yards?
Yeah, I do.
Third in yards with over 6,400. And by the way, with 54 touchdowns, and also had the fewest turnovers in the league last year with 15. The Detroit Lions are supposed to be coming. And so for me, when I think about Kelce and I say why he's most important, because I'm looking at it from the standpoint that if you're talking strictly about tonight's game, which, by the way, I don't believe he should participate in. He's too important to the Chiefs. If he's not 100%, sit your behind down. It's a 17-game season. It's Patrick Mahomes. Okay, y'all won 8 straight season openers. The bottom line is chill out. It's just one game. You're the reigning defending Super Bowl champions.
And it's
it's special. It's special. But the point that I'm trying to make to you is this. I agree with you about Kelce.
I feel violated.
And I appreciate it.
I feel violated right now. This is going to be an article. I blame you. Everything's a freaking article.
God.
Molly be texting me.
Last night?
She texted me last night. She's like this. She had some article like this. She said, this is all your fault.
Well, it was like
You know what I'm
Molly Karam curses. I'm like, no, I really don't.
I was watching the show yesterday. We
and
heard
my sisters texted me, and they was like
put
this.
you on Front
And they was
Street.
like this. Why you do Molly like that?
Yeah, right.
And I was like this. You mean the same way I've done y'all all my life?
Thank
It's
you.
what I do.
Oh, my God.
It's what I do.
In all honesty, I think if it's a pain tolerance, Travis should play. Good throw.
ahead.
If it's a pain tolerance, Travis should play. If there's in bone bruise, I would imagine, if there's a risk of further injury, obviously not play. I think the loss of Kelce shows up the most in third down and red zone. 73 targets last year for Travis in those 2 situations, by far more than anybody else on the Chiefs. So if someone else doesn't step up in those moments, we got a problem.
Uh-oh, shiny suit alert. Uh-oh. Ooh-wee.
That belt.
Yeah.
It was
That's
free.
not bad.
Yeah.
I mean, I got to give you love with that, man. That's a bad belt right there. I mean, I got to give it to you, man.
Molly,
I mean,
Molly,
you
I know.
remember, you saw Boomerang, right?
I know.
You saw Boomerang.
It's
Bang.
unbelievable.
You saw Boomerang, right?
out of
Bang.
It's
You got the
unbelievable.
coordinate.
Wait,
You got the coordinate.
You want to know the best part?
no.
You want to know the best part? It's free.
Oh my God! And I knew it. He didn't pay much for it, but I got to give it to him. I saw that belt. I said, "Bang!"
That's from Collars and
You got
Co.
to coordinate.
I just
You
want
gotta
to
coordinate.
I just want to
I'm just saying.
apologize to
I'm just
saying.
producers, coordinating
saying.
producers, executives.
Free.
He's off the yeah.
How about that? Listen, we have exceptional producers and directors here.
Yeah.
They know how to adjust. We ain't rigid. We're
We are
flexible.
not rigid
Oh,
on
are
this
we
show.
flexible
fluid?
and fluid.
Oh, we're fluid.
fluid.
Fluid, like your list.
And
Yeah.
fluid.
List.
And fluid. Like a lot of things. But let's
He's
move
on
on.
one, man.
Let's move on. Let's move on.
You got caffeine.
Let's
in
move
him.
on. Fluid. No caffeine.
Is it going to be Allen or Rodgers?
I think Aaron Rodgers plays better. Number one, he doesn't have to go against Von Miller, who's the best by far defensive player for Buffalo. Him and Tre'Davious White-Milano in that conversation. So not having to go against Von Miller is a big deal. If you look at Josh's kind of career against the New York Jets, and not only just last year but back, Josh is like a little bit more than a 2-to-1 interception to touchdown to interception ratio, passer rating well north of 90. Against the Jets, he's like 1-to-1. You know, one touchdown for every 1 interception. His passer rating is 10 points lower, just because I think the style of football that they play, they don't let him try to play as much backyard, playmaking, hero ball type of stuff that he's kind of become accustomed to. If you go back to last year, not even close were the 2 worst games of the season for him against the New York Jets. This is a better New York Jet defense, on paper at least, right now, than it was last year with the addition of Will McDonald Jr. that they drafted out of Iowa State in the first round. So the pass rush and the corner play and the speed that they have in their defense lends me to think that the Jets defense should have a relatively good success against Josh Allen. And also, my big concern is Buffalo's offensive line versus this defensive line, maybe the right side of their offensive line against the Jets. I think Aaron, it's twofold for me. Number one, if I were the Jets and I walked out on the field and saw that Buffalo wanted to play man coverage, you better figure out where Tre'Davious White is and put him on 17, because if not, Garrett Wilson's going to have 15-plus targets, and I'm going to wear whoever outside of Tre'Davious White in coverage. If you want to play zone, and this gets a little bit off Aaron, but they would be light. They would be very little when it comes to their linebacker and nickel at 224, 223, and 192 pounds. So I do think it could become a little bit more of a run game. I think that helps Aaron Rodgers out as well. I'd take Rodgers.
I'm going to say Josh Allen, because I think, Dan, you said two really important words just now, on paper. If the Bills are as good as everyone thinks they are, they're the defending division champs, right? We have seen them before. We have not, all I've heard all offseason is, from Doggy yesterday, can the Jets win a game first? On paper, it looks great. The Jets haven't done it yet. I think the Jets have the potential. You love the word potential too, right? Potential. This team could win the division. I think the Jets will win the division. But in week one, against a Bills team that has been together for several years, a Bills team that has arguably one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL, I think he's got one of the best receivers in the NFL. I think the Bills should come into this game and put up points. I understand Sauce Gardner. I understand DJ Reed. But I haven't seen the Jets together. And you talk about offensive line on the Bills, Daniel.
Mm-hmm.
What have we been talking about with the Jets? What has been their Achilles heel, or so we think,
Quarterback
so far?
play.
Why is it quarterback play? Who is protecting? The answer is O-line. Stop it. Because Aaron Rodgers needs to stay upright, because he'll be the same age as you this year, right?
Can I ask you a question real quick?
No. Yeah.
Just a quick question.
No.
Why are you telling him stop it? But with me, it's the hand movement, it's pause. Why didn't he get the pause?
He's not from New York. He can't handle that smoke.
You sure?
It's a damn good answer. You remember to analyze this and that. You're very good, you. You, Robert De Niro. That's what he said. You're very good, you.
I can handle all the smoke.
Yeah.
You're from Connecticut, though. No offense, Molly.
Whoa.
Well, first of all, just the way you said it was soft. I can handle all this smoke. I mean, we got to talk about that. We got to talk about that another time.
Dan, I catch strays all day.
We got to talk about that. That's number one. That's
Hey,
number one.
on a brighter note, can I say one thing?
Yes,
Yes.
honey.
I'm so happy that you guys are in studio.
I hate remote TV, so I'm going to be in studio. all the
I'm
time.
so excited. Last
love it.
season, it was remote, so it's so great to have you in studio 2 days a week. I just
I'm
want to
coming
say
from
that.
the house here to Bristol,
Amazing.
Bristol home.
I love it.
I really appreciate
I
it.
love
It
it.
makes it
And
so much
I love
better.
it, and I appreciate it. But that was no reason to interrupt my dialogue.
Well, and I have,
just
wait,
saying.
and it gets better. I get Kimberly
You know what I'm saying?
twice a week instead of once a
Wednesdays,
week.
Thursdays, yes.
Okay.
So it's
Right.
like Christmas. You
Made
make
a shout. I got a
Restore order, QB.
wonderful lady married with children. That's a writer of mine
I was like,
that
you
took
Where are we
the
going
liberty,
with
that
this?
took the liberty of texting me to tell me how good I looked this morning. Sherry McCovey, thank you, my girl. I love you. I love you, girl. I love you.
Why
I
did
tell
you
her
have
hubby,
to
I said,
tell
what's
us
up?
she's married
Now
with
let me move.
children?
She didn't put her glasses
No, because
on.
I didn't want people to think she was flirting. She works for me because I don't roll like that. But I'm just saying she took the time to compliment her boss about how good he's
this
looking
real
right
life?
now. I just want to throw that out. Now let's get to this point.
Stephen A.,
Rodgers
less
gonna ball
is
out.
more.
No.
It never
More
is
is
with
more.
it.
More is more.
Don't you have your own show at 4 o'clock?
More
Less
is
is
more.
more.
Yes.
Well,
More is more. Okay. So here's the deal.
Save that for
Here's the
NBA
deal,
countdown.
y'all. Here's the deal. Okay. Rodgers gonna ball out. Rodgers gonna ball out, and he's gonna ball out more than Josh Allen. And I'm gonna tell you why.
Why?
Because isn't the Jets' defense supposed to be better?
Yeah.
Aren't they supposed to be more elite than they were and proclaiming to be last season?
Yes, sir.
And so when I look at it from that perspective, okay, I know that Josh Allen and what he can bring to the table, Stephon Diggs. We don't mention Gabe Davis enough because that brother
Big
can
year
ball, and I
coming
get
for
that.
him.
But I also think they're not a team that's going to rely on their running game. They're going to try to throw the football quite often, I might add. And that brother DJ Reed, because we ain't worried about Sauce Gardner. That brother DJ Reed that opened his mouth, that showed up at the press conference, I'm expecting you to produce, my brother. We'll see what happens.
will.
In the case of Aaron, I'm not saying he won't, but he better. But in the case of Aaron Rodgers, okay, you got Garrett Wilson. You got familiar targets in Lazard and Cobb. You got Dalvin Cook in the backfield.
Yeah.
I'm
And
just
Reese.
looking at it. That's right, and Reese. But even though, he's coming back from his injury, so I got to see him more. I hope he's healthy, and I know the brother can ball. I'm just saying, home opener, Monday night.
Come on.
It's Aaron Rodgers, the big stage. He's a bad man. And this ain't Lambeau Field. This is the Mecca. Now, I know it's East Rutherford, New Jersey, the swamp, and smell it. But the point is that New York, you can see the bright lights.
MSG
you can
is
see
the Mecca, but
Broadway.
whatever.
You understand? You can see Broadway, all right? The lights are shining down upon Mecca. And by the way, Aaron Rodgers knows Stephen A. gonna be in the house.
You going?
I'll be there.
Oh, that's
I'm
definitely
going to the
going to be
game.
in front of
I'm going to the
everyone.
game. No. I'll be in the suite.
He's such a
I'll be in the
front
suite.
runner.
I'll be in the suite. I mean, you'll be working. I'll be in the suite. But I'm
I
just saying,
cannot
I will be
stand you.
I will be there. I will be there.
can't.
Okay? I will be there. I'm bringing my man Shannon Sharp there. We
my
rolling up there
goodness.
together.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.